Today, we're digging into a discovery so incredible, so profound, it literally forced us to rewrite history. We're talking about the ghost ship of Sutton Hoo, and a treasure that completely shattered everything we thought we knew about an entire era.
So this really is the big question, isn't it? The one that Sutton Hoo throws right at us. Our story kicks off on the brink of World War II, in the summer of 1939. Over in Suffolk, England, a landowner named Edith Pretty kept looking at these strange, grassy mounds on her property. She just had a feeling about them, and acting on that hunch, she started a chain of events that would uncover a secret buried for well over 1,000 years.
To check out these mounds, Edith Pretty hired a man named Basil Brown. Now, he was this brilliant, self-taught archaeologist. After some smaller, interesting finds in 1938, Brown set his sights on the biggest mound of them all. And as he started to dig, he began to unearth something, well, something truly unbelievable.
27 meters. That's nearly 90 feet long. That's the sheer scale of what Brown was uncovering. But here's the really strange part. The ship itself wasn't there. The wood, the planks, it had all completely rotted away centuries ago.
All that was left was this perfect, haunting outline in the sand, literally the ghost of a ship. What they'd found was an Anglo-Saxon ship burial, which is an astonishingly rare find. And right there, at the very heart of this ghost ship, Brown found it, a burial chamber, absolutely packed with treasures that would unlock a lost world. Now, the things they found inside that chamber weren't just treasure in the sense of gold and jewels. No, they were clues. They were pieces of a giant historical puzzle. Each one told a story about the people who made them, their incredible skills, and their place in the world. And the most famous piece of that puzzle is the helmet.
I mean, just look at this thing. It's so much more than just armor. It's a work of art. It's a statement of immense power. You can see these intricate designs of warriors and dragons, with symbols all pointing to the god Odin. This was made for a ruler of incredible authority, and its mysterious face has become the absolute icon of the Anglo-Saxon age. And the level of technology here is just mind-blowing. They found this magnificent sword with a pattern-welded blade. Now, this wasn't just hammering out a piece of metal. This was a super advanced technique where you twist and forge different iron rods together. The result? A blade that was both unbelievably strong and just beautiful to look at. This was the work of absolute master craftsmen. And get this society was anything but isolated. The burial chamber was like a map of the known world. You had a huge ceremonial shield with designs from Scandinavia, silverware all the way from the Byzantine Empire, the garnets and the jewelry, they were traced to Sri Lanka. This wasn't some quiet backwater. This was a hub connected to a massive global trade network. But as the archaeologists were taking stock of all this unbelievable wealth, a huge puzzle started to emerge. Everything, and I mean everything, was pointing to a magnificent royal burial. There was just one problem. The most important piece was missing.
Think about it. On one hand, you've got all the gear of a king, right? The incredible helmet, that powerful sword, even a ceremonial scepter. Everything you'd expect for a major ruler. But on the other hand, the one thing that should have been there wasn't. There was no body, no bones, no teeth, nothing. So how do you have a burial with nobody to bury?
Well, the answer wasn't a ghost story. It was a science lesson. Turns out, the soil at Sutton Hoo is incredibly acidic. Over 1,300 years, it had literally dissolved any human remains, leaving just the treasures behind. So the question shifted from where the body was to whose it had been. Based on the sheer wealth of the burial and the dating of all the artifacts, historians have a prime suspect, King Raedwald of East Anglia. He was a major powerhouse ruler back in the early 7th century. And while we can't be 100% certain, he is by far the most likely candidate, the missing king of the ghost ship.
But here's the real twist in the story. The ultimate treasure of Sutton Hoo wasn't the gold or the sword or even the helmet. It was the knowledge. It was information that would force historians to completely rethink an entire period of history.
For centuries, the time after the Romans left Britain was just written off as the Dark Ages. You know, this idea that it was a primitive, violent, and backward time. Well, the discovery at Sutton Hoo basically walked in and proved that whole idea was completely and utterly wrong.
I mean, just look at this table. It shows you exactly how huge that shift in thinking was. The old view? A barbaric, isolated society making crude, simple art. The new view, thanks to Sutton Hoo,
a sophisticated, deeply interconnected culture capable of masterful craftsmanship with trade routes stretching across the entire world. This one discovery literally rewrote the textbooks.
All of a sudden, this supposedly dark period was flooded with light. It revealed an age of unbelievable artistry, complex societies, and a surprisingly global point of view. The Anglo-Saxons weren't just raiders, they were creators, they were engineers, and they were international traders.
And the story of Sutton Hoo didn't just end back in 1939. Its legacy is still teaching us and fascinating us to this day. And the cool part is, it's a story you can still go out and experience for yourself.
Today, you can actually go and walk among those ancient burial mounds at the original site in Suffolk, which is looked after by the National Trust. And then you can go see the breathtaking treasures themselves, including that iconic helmet, up close and personal at the British Museum in London.
Ultimately, this is why Sutton Hoo is so important. It's this powerful reminder that our picture of the past is never really finished. History isn't just a dusty book full of facts. It's a living story, a narrative that can be completely turned on its head by a single discovery.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of amazing thought. If a treasure that could rewrite history was just lying there under a grassy field for 1,300 years, what else is still out there, just waiting for us to find it? Thanks for tuning in.